Hey, what's up, guys? So Mallory asked me a really good question the other day, and that question was, "What do you call eupraxia? Like, what are the workouts? Is it HIIT? Is it this, whatever?" And I've never really thought of giving a name, but I will tell you what eupraxia is and the goal. So, for any workout program, I think you should have a goal that you're working towards. So, what are the goal? What's the end goal of eupraxia workouts? Is I want to be a very high functioning human for a very long time. So I want to be very high functioning in my 70s, 80s, into my 90s. Then the question is, well, how do you get there? So what metrics best predict a very high functioning and longevity? And there's two metrics blow the rest away. I mean, more than not smoking, more than cholesterol, more than anything. And those two metrics are strength and VO2 max. If you are strong and have a VO2 max, your probability of living a long time and having a high functioning long life is the best. Okay, so that's where the workouts are geared towards. So yesterday's workout, for example, where we did like really, really hard, like 6-7 minute rounds, then a break, and then go hard 6-7 minute round, and I can barely breathe, and you're laying there. Like that's really one of the best ways to build your VO2 max. You know, maybe a little bit better is even shorter, but even higher intensity. And then strength, right? So today's workout is a great example of just building strength. I mean, strength is so important. And with workout programs, like I'm constantly swimming upstream against marketing and old belief systems that just won't die, okay? But going back to our workouts, like where do they come from? Well, the truth is, I'm not like just inventing a whole lot of anything. I copy really smart people that came before me, right? And one of the problems I find with school is like, oh, you should never copy, never. Copy is only bad is if you copy someone and then claim it as your own, okay? So I'm not claiming anything as my own. I think it makes sense to copy the best of the best through history and then do the same thing because they got really good results. So for example, like here is the strength training manual for coaches. So these are pretty like these Russian researchers. I mean, all they did for their entire lives is build programs to create elite athletes. And so their athletes have all these strength and Olympic records, all these crazy records. So it kind of makes sense to use some of the workouts. So some are stations workouts, some are exercise, some are moves are from this. Charles Poliquin, he worked with hundreds of Olympians. The shock method workout, a lot of the strength building workouts we do are directly from this expert working with elite athletes to build strength. So it's like, well, if it's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for me, all right? And I love a lot of his stuff, and one of the things he goes over a lot is the love of new stuff. And that's one of the challenges with marketing and social media. This is always just, everyone loves doing different, and one of the feedback I get is more variety. So it's a balance. Like I want to have variety just so things don't get too boring. However, if you really want to get good at stuff, more variety is actually not good. I mean, you want to master the basics. So like be like great at push-ups, great at pull-ups, great at kettlebell swings, great at squats, and do them consistently and keep getting better and better and adding weight, adding reps. I mean, it's one of the reasons I called my book Back to the Basics is because especially now that I've gotten more into youth sports, like everyone's just skipping past the basics and getting right into tournaments. I'm like, you know, these kids, they don't know how to throw, they barely catch, their technique's terrible, but let's go play a tournament. You know, to me, it doesn't make any sense, but that's a different tangent. But back to our workouts, I mean, I have the end goal. I have the another, like our core training. This is from Stu McGill, like the world expert on core training, spine health, spine biomechanics. That's where our core training comes from, right? And a lot of these, it's interesting how these guys find each other. How like Pavel Tsatsoulin's another, I use a lot of his stuff. He's like one of the elite coaches for like Russian special forces, and he's the one who made like kettlebell training more popular in the US many years ago. But he works with Stu McGill and puts together really good training protocols, and then I learn those and implement them here. I got books from like Michael Jordan and Kobe's trainers, and I implement some of their stuff. And it's always geared towards the end goal, right? And it's always the challenge of just old myths that never die. For example, it's like, oh, I don't want to lift heavy weights because I'm going to get big and bulky, and it just doesn't work that way. I mean, that's just wrong. Like, for me, if I really want to burn fat, I'm going to lift weights and build muscle and really get my diet in check. Like that is, most people, it's like, well, we just need to do more cardio, and even that word is misunderstood. You know, cardio, everyone thinks like steady state jogging, and that's interesting too. Like if we do a lot of push-ups, people are like, oh, I can't believe we do so many push-ups. But then it's okay to go jog for 10 miles 3 times a week, which is like this very minimal range of motion, exact same thing over and over again for hours. It's sort of like doing like a quarter push-up over and over and over again, but we have this marketed belief system that's cardio. Well, cardio is also going as hard as you possibly can, so your heart is like beating through your chest to build your VO2 max, which is one of the best predictor of high functioning longevity. Right, so that's where a lot of the workout stuff comes from. And then when you combine it with good nutrition, then you really get the magic. Where's my nutrition comes from? Again, I didn't come up with anything. It's just you learn from people, especially people that are much, much older than me who are in their 80s and they look amazing. It's like, all right, well, maybe I should copy this person's plan because he looks amazing and way older. So then you have to think, you have to like look back at the program and then judge, well, how well is it working? If someone is going all in on this particular thing, how are the results? Well, there's one person that I know that follows everything to a T, and that's myself. So for a person, I'm 47 years old, maybe 1 in 20 people in my demographic can do a legit pull-up. I could probably do one with 100 pounds hanging from my waist. That's pretty good strength. I can bench press in the top 1% of humans, squat, deadlift, everything, probably about 1%. I can still see all my ab muscles. So for a guy in his 40s, that's, maybe 1-2% of Americans, men in their 40s can still see all their ab muscles. It's not like being a douchebag bragging. It just is. It's like, all right, is it working? I think so. So then what do? Well, I keep doing it like consistently over and over and over and over again. And the most important, I shouldn't say the most important, one of the most important factors with all this stuff, so you can have all the, anything that people always ask is like how many sets, how many reps. Well, none of that really matters if you're not giving effort. Okay, and that's where the group comes into play. Like I love being around people working hard because it makes me work harder. Right? I can't stand being around people that complain. I fucking hate it. Right? I don't want to hear. I just want hard charging, work hard, let's get after, get it done. Sometimes some workouts aren't as fun as other ones. Good. Grind through it. It's good for your mind. It's good to build toughness and resilience to grind through things you don't really enjoy. Right? A lot of the workouts, they're not my favorite, but I know that's probably what I need. And I love having people around me to push hard. Another thing that's very, very common is just like neomania, man. I love history, especially health and medical history and war history, but just all the different fitness products throughout the history. Like it's crazy how it's just, again, neomania. People love news. There's always new products coming out, and you got the sandbags and this ball, and people are like, oh, I want this. None of it matters if you don't use it with effort, right? It is like, and that's where I love the human interaction with people effort. And that's why a lot of times too, it's like one of the reasons, like yesterday, I work in partners plus a time, right? So one, working with someone is very good at helping you give more effort. And then two, making a game out of it. So it's like, all right, see if I can get through all these reps in a certain amount of time, is to help people push harder than they would on their own, right? There's a lot of psychology behind that. And then as far as like days like today, like just pure strength stuff, like it's really good to track progress because then you're on the right track and it feels good to make positive progress, right? So that's why I love, like today, I kind of know what my goal for my shoulder press is going to be. It's like I know where I want to be and I know where I want to get. I know how many pull-ups I did last time. I know, like this, I want to get 100 pull-ups with a 20-pound weighted vest on, strict ones, without the flopping. For the shoulder press, it's a shoulder press. I'm not going to use my leg at all, just strict press. That way, the next time I do it, it's very consistent, so I can try and do a little bit better. One of the struggles as you get older is I'll never be as strong, because I'm 47, I'll never be as strong as 27-year-old me. Unless I start doing a pile of steroids, but that's not in the plan. So it's just kind of a sucky thing. But if you're newer, it's so much fun because you can just keep packing on strength, all right? So it's turned into a long answer, but in the end, the entire goal of the whole program is to be a really high-functioning, you know what I mean? I love being able to help with youth sports and youth football, and my kids never tire me out. I can just do whatever the hell I want. I can run them, I can chase them, I'm a high functioning, and I want to keep that for as long as humanly possible, and that's what the workouts are designed around, right? I'm not claiming that I came up with really anything. I am claiming that I've read a lot of books from a lot of really smart people, and I am using their stuff in this program. hopefully that, hopefully you guys found some value in that.